that absolutely, positively should not be there, and it is. And there's been virtually no aluminum-free test in about 60 tests in Shasta County alone at the state-certified lab. So, I mean, this metal's there. That is not speculation. It matches the patents exactly. That's not speculation. The patents match exactly what we see in the sky as an express goal. That's not speculation. So there's hard ground to stand on here.
You have John Holdren talking about it. You have all these politicians, that some talk about it. These geoengineers also will talk about it. So it's not hidden. It's just you have to go find it.
No, it isn't.
You have to go find it. And, I want to elaborate a little bit about what Dane said. We spent a week on Maui filming in Hawaii, and, of course,
that was amazing.
It was an amazing part of the film, and there was no aircraft that were visible, but we did see the aerosols in the sky. So I did a lot of public speaking as well when I was on the island, and I was telling the locals about it, many of which did not believe it, and we said the proof literally is in the test. So we encouraged the locals there to do rain and snow tests. Of course, they are seeing a dramatic effect and profound changes within the ecology and what they're able to grow on the island now in terms of the organic food. But I want to get back to the rain and the rain tests that they did. The rain tests yielded, again, extremely high levels of aluminum, barium, and strontium, and I want to encourage people to test for those if there's any question.
Okay, we have Brenda on line one, and go ahead, Brenda.
Good evening. I'm going to play a little bit of a devil's advocate here and take a little different angle.
Okay.
More from the scientific, rigorous study point of view. First of all, I got a question for your guests. Do you folks believe that all of the condensation trails that we see are all chemtrails, that there's no other scientifically rational cause for those that we see?
Well, I can answer that, and no, I don't. I don't believe that everything that we see in the sky is an aerosol trail. We know that there are contrails, which have been around since airplanes have been flying, and we also know that there is a thing called a persistent contrail, and a persistent contrail is a contrail that will last a little bit longer, but it requires very specific conditions. One is high humidity and very cold temperatures, something that's very rare. So what we see, yes, of course, there are persistent contrails up in the sky. However, those do not precipitate out the high amounts of aluminum, barium, and strontium and other metals that we're seeing. So to answer your question, I mean, that's a great question because many people say, well, perhaps you're confusing these with contrails, and I think it's a valid question. But no, we definitely know that we have a huge amount of metal particulate falling out of the sky. There is a correlation when we see the thick aerosol spraying, what we believe is the aerosol spraying. When those trails are not there, the numbers dramatically come down, and these metals were not there before these long lingering trails were here on a regular basis. Dane?
To back up further what Mike's saying, if one takes time to observe, at the same time an aircraft can be seen leaving a trail from horizon to horizon. Aircraft can be seen at the same approximate altitude, leaving nothing. The days we get the big grid patterns, you also have east-west traffic, east-west lines. We do not have east-west commercial traffic over this valley, period. You have the same days where you might have a full grid pattern overhead, which blocks 40-50% of solar uptake on a PV panel. If you go out 10, 12 o'clock at night, when the humidity's higher and the temperatures are lower, aircraft can be seen passing overhead, leaving virtually nothing. If it was anything natural, you would see even more. And again, the amount of footage, Brenda, on YouTube of actual on-off disbursements of spray is quite clear. And again, we have very hard data that this metal was not there before. The skies were not covered before. I can say from my solar panel uptake in the last 10 years, it has plunged. And so something very different is going on. And the amount of air traffic in the air on a given day when our skies are covered with this is it can be 10 times the traffic on a day when there are no lines being made. I mean, there's literally 10 times the aircraft in the air. So there's...
Okay, going back to scientific method, has anybody bothered to find out where those aircraft originate from and where they're going? That would be hard data you could get a hold of. As for your solar panels, they age, they get less efficient. So there is a possibility in my mind that some of the degradation of power that you're getting from your solar panel, especially if it's a 10-year-old solar panel, is that you're seeing natural aging of the efficacy of the solar panel. And where's the controls for the metal data? So, asking all these questions is...
Can I answer a few, though?
Whoa, wait a minute. I'm sure you have an answer for all of them, and that's okay. I'm not here to try to change anybody's mind. But what I want the listeners to consider is that there are definitely two sides to any story. Right. And you've got to get hard data. You've got to have everything other than innuendo. This is all toxic. Aluminum studies have been done in health. From what I've read, Alzheimer's and aluminum, there is no good correlation. That's old data.
Okay, can I answer some questions? One, solar is my background. I have pallets of brand new solar panels, brand new, state-of-the-art solar panels. They're not aged panels, and a panel doesn't degrade one day and come back to life the next day. I have brand new panels taking these tests. Two, the metal wasn't there 5 years ago. It's there today. It's not coming from China. So I would ask, where's it coming from? If all these are naturally occurring trails and they're blocking 70 or 80% of my solar power, then I would ask, why do they need geoengineering?
But how do we know the metals weren't there before? Nobody was looking for them.
Yes, we were. We have baseline studies that go back that showed an increase in some cases in the last 5 years of up to 50,000%. We also have much more extensive USDA full soil pH studies. This is a much more solid piece of ground for Shasta and Siskiyou counties, showing exact pHs of the entire county. I've been with USDA soil scientists in the field checking soil pH that has changed to a magnitude of 10 to 12 times in 5 years that U.S. Forest Service biologists believe can only have come from the contamination of the rainfall, which has also changed in pH up to 12 times in a given storm, depending on how much spraying we see. pHs go from 5.5, 5.6, which is normal because of the carbon in the atmosphere, can rocket as high as 6.6, 6.8. That's a change of 10 to 12 times. Aluminum oxide raises pH. Those same rain samples are packed full of aluminum. Again, it's not coming from China. So where is it coming from? And all these dots match perfectly. So I think we do have an answer for every question you have there. And
who's paying for it? And why?
You are. You are as a taxpayer.
Why do we have massive sickness everywhere?
We are.
That is only explainable by chemtrails.
Well, it simply is not. But we do know that these metals will compromise an immune system. So to say it's only explainable by the chemtrail issue, that's not what we're claiming. But what we are claiming, and the physicians that we spoke to said that these will compromise our immune system. So we do know that. And if you have perhaps poor lungs or perhaps
I've seen the difference.
A poor kidney, this is going to attack you. And we know that asthma and respiratory mortality is being affected by it. Are these programs affecting human health? You betcha they are. We can say that conclusively. Are these metals in the air? We can say conclusively yes.
Has anybody traced the metal that's in the air, actually found that isotope, that exact thing in all of these people?
Well, you know what? That's a great point, because have you had a chance to see what in the world are they spraying?
No, I have not seen
okay. I encourage you to watch that, because we cover a lot of the questions that you're asking. But yes, as a matter of fact, we know many people who have gotten hair follicle tests that, again, reveal high amounts of these metals.
I'm going to have to break in right now. We got to go to break. This is William Whitecrow. Please, ma'am, stay on the line. We're really interested in what you have to say. And this is William Whitecrow for Sovereign Minds Radio, home of Free Fire Media at KCNR 1460 AM. If you want to call in at 605-4567.
Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is William Whitecrow back. We're here with Free Fire Radio. And Dane Wigington here would like to continue answering the questions that Brenda had here.
Well, Brenda, again, I want to relate to, you're not wanting to, or, it's a natural desire, at least it was for me, not to want to believe this could even be remotely possible.
No. I'm not in denial.
I don't think you are. I just want to...
I'm looking at it from a scientific point of view. I'm very skeptical.
I understand, as was I for about 2 years, but every test I opened, they got worse and worse and worse, and every dot that connected, and